from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype. It's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta. And Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Kansas City, here I come.
Oh, my God, Todd, give it up.
I know. I was in Kansas City last week. Does that make any sense at all? Hello. Welcome to the program. Todd Bailing in the great state of Wisconsin, and my two Wisconsin partners, Ed Kaluka. Morning, Eddie.
Good morning, Todd.
And Dan Margetta.
Good morning. You're back in the state here.
Oh, yeah. We're looking for Brian, but Brian is doing what Brian does best. He got a late call and is off fighting a fire. Didn't tell us where it was, sent some pictures, but it looks like it's a pretty big deal, and I have my doubts that Brian will make it back in time for the end of the show. So you do your thing, Brian. We're thinking about you, and stay safe, and we're going to talk about racing. Are you kidding me? Where did we come up with Bushy McBush?
It was a contest.
That's what they named the race?
Yes, it was a contest that Busch Beer had, and people had to pick, and that's what won. Wait till you hear some of the ones it could have been. You want to hear the top four?
That was the winner. What about the losers?
Here's the other one. It could have been, the Busch Latte 400 would have been nice. That would have been straight.
Sure.
Nectar of the Cobs 400.
Oh, wow.
For the Farmers 400, and of course, Bushy McBush race won because that was probably the dumbest one out there. Everybody kind of piled up on that one.
So
how cool would it be if one of the Bush brothers win this race?
Right? It might as well be now. Oh, goodness.
And awful, it makes reference to the old Xfinity series.
Yes, the Busch series. Yes. Well, either way, Brad Keselowski will be on the pole today based on the formula that is decided from the week before.
Sabermetrics.
And it will be televised on Fox Sports 1 today, and of course heard right here on the Big 920. There will be a competition caution at lap 25, and then the segments are lap 80 and 160. It will be a 267 lap race, which means the last portion, segment, is 107 laps. So
the thing I like about that formula is that if you throw out the competition caution, like for the second segment, you have to make a green flag pit stop to make it to the end. And that always makes those segment breaks much more interesting to strategize what you're going to do on that break that you have to make before the segment end. So that always makes it for a better race.
It really does. It makes for a lot more interest and makes you wonder, are there guys that are worried about getting those points, or are those guys that are doing their entire strategy so that they're going to be good at the end of the race? Yeah, I don't know. It seems like I'd be more worried about that. But then again, it's not my – they're not asking for my opinion.
If you get a situation like Greg Ives and his driver were in a couple weeks ago, and he's running like fourth, fifth most of the day, and there's a yellow right at the end, and Greg Ives makes all the right adjustments to the car and blows the tires up, and he smokes them guys and caught them with their pants down, that's always exciting.
Brilliant. It was brilliant. That's what it was. Makes you wonder why more guys didn't do the same thing, but maybe they all learned their lessons. We are at Kansas City. They did run the trucks there yesterday. Kyle Busch snookered them on the last restart, went around two trucks side by side racing for the lead, and Kyle Busch goes around the outside. And are we surprised Kyle Busch won at all, Ed? I doubt it.
Yes, very much surprised. If you listen to the audio of Kyle Busch, Johnny Sauter, and Haley Deegan were the three people I was listening to, it made for a very entertaining afternoon. Poor Johnny Sauter.
He's always entertaining.
My God, at the top of his lungs. He was screaming things I could never tell you to say about how bad the truck was. After 2 pit stops, turning 6 rounds down on the track bar, which I've never heard of before, and even Johnny said, how about a little wedge? No, 6 rounds down on the track bar. It was so bad, he was just livid beside himself. Finally get down towards the end of the race, and they put, because of them early stops they had made, because now Joe made a decision, he's running like 18th. He said, there was a yellow. He said, come on in. Now, nobody's going to pit on that particular yellow. So they pitted, filled it up with fuel. He took the right rear tire off, pulled the spring rubber out, put the tire back on, put some wedge in it, and went back out, running just tailback, okay, like third or second, 29th, 28th, 29, 27 cars in the lead lap. Now they get going, okay? And he's hanging on to the lead lap. He's 27 seconds back, 32 seconds to get lapped. So he's hanging on. Oh, we got a yellow. Okay, here's our opportunity. We're going to pit. Yeah, let's come in and get the lefts that we didn't put on that stop. So they came in and got their other left tied tires, because now at this point, everybody else is out of tires. So they came in and got their left side tires, put fuel in the truck, and away we go. Well, now there's like, 40 laps to go. 50 laps to go, and they have fuel to go to lap 17 to go. Everybody else has to stop with 25 to go. So everybody stops, gets their fuel. Johnny stays on the racetrack. He's out there. He's one of the few cars that are down to 12 cars on a lead lap. The second place car is 17 seconds back. Well, okay, let's see what's going to happen here. We're trucking along. Okay, we're going to stop at lap 17 because we can't run them any further than our gas that we have.
17 to go.
17 to go. And what happens? A yellow comes out. Because the old Jennifer Cobb, who doesn't belong in anything, stopped coming into the pits. Stopped right there in the pits. Yellow flag.
You wonder why they wouldn't let her race at Talladega.
It was almost like Johnny paid her.
Well.
Oh, great. Okay, now they come in and get the left side tires because there are 13 trucks on the lead lap, and Johnny is 13th. So they came in and put their left side tires on. Joe pumped up 5 pounds of air in the left rear tire to tighten it up, and away we go. There's a wreck with a 52 truck in the middle of the field. So now Johnny goes from 13th to like 6th, 7th, about 13th, I don't know, 10th or 11th. We get the green flag. Now, on the other side of the fold, Helen Deegan is talking to TJ Majors. TJ Majors drives that car from the spotter stand. She's a robot that moves the wheel, but she does it quite well. She listens. They have excellent feedback from her, and they end up going from 20th starting position qualifying. She was running up in the top 9. They had a bad pit stop. She ended up like 13th, but she impressive. Now, Kyle Busch, on the other hand, you guys messed this thing, blah, blah, blah. It's so screwed up, I can't drive it. I don't know what's going on. Well, how's the power steering work on this truck? What's the matter? Well, I get off. I shut the engine off. I shut the engine off. I take it out of gear, and the thing almost stops. Are the brake rotors glowing? There's something drastically wrong with the front of this truck. I can't adjust the brake bias. Bitch. Well, what are we going to do? We're out of tires. Now he's like 6th place. They drop the green flag. He hammers throttle down. He looks like the 2 truck on the outside. He blasts by everybody and wins the race. And he says, I am the most surprised guy in this joint that we won this race.
And Johnny ended up where?
He won it. Oh, no, Johnny ended up 13th. The top 10, he ended up, I think, 9th or 10th.
Oh, okay. So he salvaged something.
So that's my synopsis on the truck race yesterday.
Well, that's beautiful. I can't believe there are so many problems with that with Johnny Sauter's truck after those guys have been working together for so long and know each other so well and have such communication. Unbelievable. Either way, glad to see they had a decent finish. We'll be right back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
It's a red, white, and blue weekend of family fun as Road America hosts the NASCAR Cup Series July 1st through the 4th in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 4 huge days of stock cars featuring the NASCAR Cup, Henry 180 Xfinity, and Trans Am Series. Camp on site and catch every lap. Enjoy fan activities including autograph sessions and free family fun zone. And free admission for youth 16 and under. Get your printed home tickets today before they sell out at RoadAmerica.com. That's RoadAmerica.com. Come for the experience. Stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Kevin Harvick on the inside lane. Joey Logano on the outside.
At Kansas Speedway.
Bowman keeps it wound up down low. They go door to door for the race lead.
400 miles of high-speed hijinks in the heartland.
Denny Hamlin is a winner, picking up the victory tonight at the Kansas Speedway.
It's the Bushy McBush Race 400.
Coming up later today at 1 o'clock on Milwaukee's Home for NASCAR. The Big 920 and Big920.com.
Quite a race at Talladega that I missed last week. I was actually in Kansas City. Brad Keselowski. I did see a replay of the, or in fact, I did see it live. The last green-white checker. But I assume there was more to the race, especially when I've been reading all week long about Joey Logano, who is really pretty much tired of going upside down, and he wants to be an advocate of change. We know that things aren't right and need to be changed, but we have a new car coming, right, Ed?
Yeah, but there's supposedly they'll address most of his thoughts on what he had about getting rid of the rear spoiler. There's hardly no rear spoiler on a new car. The air goes underneath the new car instead of over the top. Dependent, in other words, it's not dependent on downforce. It's dependent on ground effects. That's the theory, anyhow. Where if they let these 2022 cars run on bump stops, the whole project is a waste of time.
Are they taking any advice on this thing, or
I don't know. But they have a slot cut in a splitter. There's a slot cut out for air to enter underneath the car. There's a ground effects tunnel under the car with a diffuser in the back of the car, like you're used to seeing in sports cars, where the air is directed out of the back of the car and gives you ground effects, not downforce, but ground effects. End result is the same. But it's hard to take a 3,500-pound car and have any kind of ground effects. It works great on these cars, like in sports cars that weigh 2,800 pounds, 2,600 pounds, to get that mass to get better ground effects. But it should work. It should work in theory, and it should work because they've added larger wheels and tires to this formula. of an 18-inch wheel. That's bigger brakes, better braking, better cooling. It's an aluminum wheel with one lug nut, a composite wheel. Magnesium composite wheel with one lug nut. And it's a wider rim, which gives you more rubber contact patch to the surface. 14 square inches more contact patch than they had before.
Will that keep them glued down, though, Ed?
Well, yeah, it should. It should work. It should work quite well. Independent rear suspension. You got all 4-wheel adjusters, camber, caster, tow. Just a dozen things you can do. Shock absorbers are going to be critical, because the hydraulic ride control system is how these independent cars work best. Okay.
Ed, you have always preached the Smokey Unic rule. It's logical.
Yes, it goes back to the day of Carl Wagner and Smokey Unic. It's so stupid to be running these 351 engines. We should be running 289s, even a 302 cubic inch motor with no restrictions. Run any kind of camshaft you want. Run dual overhead cams if you want. But get rid of the cubic inches. Cubic inches, you make about 4 to 5 horsepower per cubic inch. No matter what formula you want to use, there's only so much air compressor. It's an air compressor with an igniter inside. That's what an internal combustion engine is. And now how you get that air in and how you mix the fuel and the air together all make horsepower. But cubic inches are what limit the horsepower.
Why are they so afraid to lower the cubic inches?
They always bitched about, well, we got all of these blocks and all this stuff laying around. We don't want to invest throw all this stuff out the door and have to start. That's a lame excuse for stupidity. I mean, these guys they're using all new equipment every year. They're buying new blocks. They're buying everything new. That's a BS deal. I mean,
will that work on other tracks though? I mean, you have to run that engine everywhere, then, right?
Yes, because if you have throttle response, you have car control, you have better racing. If you can suck up to the guy behind you because it's a ground effects car, and you have the horsepower with a smaller cubic inch motor, which has throttle response, has a better torque curve. In other words, it pulls. We always say if you get on the camshaft, in other words, there's a sweet spot on that camshaft that makes max horsepower. Now you match your gear ratio to that sweet spot of the camshaft. Like if you're at a local racetrack like Slinger, and you see a guy coming off the corner, and he's coming off the corner, and all of a sudden it accelerates, and just about the time you want to get on the brakes, he's making half max horsepower. And the next guy, you see him in the middle of the corner go, bah! And he's flat in it, and he's on the cam coming off the corner, and he makes full power all the way to the start-finish line, then he gets off the gas and makes the corner. So you got the sweet spot of the camshaft for the torque curve, and it's easier to tailor that with a smaller cubic inch engine.
You know, I can't imagine that they shouldn't. I mean, why wouldn't you have a different engine just for the super speedways? Let them use up their 355s or 358s or whatever the hell they are. You know,
it's probably cost, you know, and they're having just an engine for 4 races.
Exactly, but that doesn't make any difference. We're going to be going in 2025 to hybrids, electric motors, internal combustion engines, and hybrids are coming because they want Honda, they want Mercedes, they want Volkswagen, they want these other manufacturers in the series, and they'll never be there without a hybrid.
I just wondered, is that the first time Logano's been upside down? I don't remember getting upside down before.
Well, and here's the other thing about this flip, okay? He landed on a cage, and the cage collapsed. It hit his helmet.
Right, and then the net got stuck. Did you see it? That's what I was going to say. The way it hit, the latch was stuck on the net. He couldn't get the window net down. He was kind of stuck in there.
Exactly.
Now, and if the car had been on fire, it would have been in trouble, right? Well, there's nothing wrong with trying to redo it.
Todd, is how stupid NASCAR has been for 80 years. They make this car out of 1 3/4 DOM moly tubing. DOM, that means drawn over a mold. It is the most archaic way to make a steel tube. And
it's time to do that over, too.
Oh, definitely. Dennis Springs, we use 4130. Every sprint car in the country is 4130 chrome moly. What's wrong with it? You have to TIG weld the car together. It takes an artist to put the car together. It takes a classified, certified welder to put the two pieces together. DOM, you can get there with a rod and a stick and just burn away and make junk cars. The tubing is now, it calls out for 90-inch wall, 90,000 wall. There isn't a mill in the country that makes inch and quarter, 3/4-inch tubing with 90 wall. It makes, I got to go on with this. Go on.
We'll take a break and I'll catch my breath.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit BonafideSafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
It's the 59th annual season opener at Dell's Raceway Park, Saturday, May 8th. The paved third mile oval heats up with late models, UMA modified Sportsman and Bandit. Gates open at 3, qualifying at 4:30, green flag racing at 6. Dell's Raceway Park, located 5 miles west of Wisconsin Dells on Highway 12 and 16, or exit 85 off I-9094. Go online to DellsRacewayPark.com for more info. The 59th season opener, Saturday, May 8th at Dell's Raceway Park.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
2 wide, looking 3 wide, slipping and sliding, trucks kicking out. Wow, what a battle. Zane Smith at the front of that pack.
At Darlington Raceway.
Austin Hill all over the back end of Brett Moffitt. Now he's going to drive down to the inside. 3 wide.
Try to tame the lady in black.
Nothing will be more satisfactory than leading a lap at Darlington Raceway.
It's the LiftKitsForLess.com 200.
Friday night, coverage starts at 6 on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920 and Big920.com.
Don't forget, if you can't listen to LTN live, you can download the LTN podcast, available on iHeart, iTunes, Google Play Store, or wherever you download your podcasts. Call us to this program, and you can call us for about whatever. If we're talking about a subject that you find of interest, or if you want to bring something else up that we haven't talked about yet, you can do so at 414-421-7901. Even if you want to expand on a Chrome Molly 4130 conversation that I have no idea what we're talking about, but Ed knows completely what we're talking about. I take it that's the size of the tubing, right?
No, that's the type of steel it is. It's a 4130 is a grade of steel.
Oh.
But the inch and 3/4 tubing, like I mentioned before, that these cars are now made of, the NASCAR spec is 90 thousandths wall. Well, nobody makes 90 thousandths wall. It's all bigger than that. It's like 120 wall, or inch 3/4 to a DOM is like the 120. So this outfit in Charlotte called Stock Car Steel, they take that inch and 3/4 DOM tubing and grind it down for you to 90 thousandths wall. Now the tubing goes from $3 a foot to $6 a foot, and it's the same shit, that they glue these cars together with. That's not a very good steel. 4130 chrome moly is a better quality as far as the material and much stronger for its size. But let's go to the next page. There's a thing called Domax. We make all the red housings at Hefner Racing Products out of Domex. It's a type of steel that when I was with Arrow and Bassett, I came up with that steel from metallurgists that I had been taught by,
with. Sure.
That this new product, this new steel, which goes back to the Chrysler kit car days. Larry Rathgab, which I became friends with, he came up with this HSLA, high strength, low alloy steel, that is generated into Domex. Now, Domex, they have one called Drocool, which is 1 3/4 tubing that is unbelievably strong. It would never, ever collapse on your head if it was made a cage out of it. That's adding more tubes to different areas and different designs. If you don't have the right steel, it's still going to fail. So if they were to make these cars out of Dromex, okay, which is the best tubing in the world, and then TIG weld the whole car together, they would eliminate all of these safety problems with that. And I got enough to say about that. Thank you.
Boy, I sure am glad you understand all that, Ed. That's nice that between the two of us that one of us gets it. But it's pretty amazing. And if you have so you have all these great ideas. You talk to people in NASCAR. You used to talk to them all the time when you were in the wheel business, right?
Oh yeah, Larry McReynolds and I had this conversation last week.
Oh, okay. Well, if Larry can't make suggestions to NASCAR, who can?
It's falling on deaf ears.
Unbelievable. Well, this all has to do with Logano, who wants to be an, quote, advocate of change after he went upside down at Talladega. Maybe he didn't go upside down at Daytona, but he did. Didn't he get?
He got upside down.
Cars was on fire.
Yeah, Logano got upside down at Dover when he was driving the 20 car. His rookie year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing that happens all the time. We're used to it. Apparently, there are non-race fans that will tune in and up the ratings because they know it's coming. But is it really something we should have to deal with?
I don't think we had as many blatant blocks as we had at Daytona, at Talladega. I mean, you still had some wrecks, and then a lot of them were caused by the chain reaction type deal that starts up front. But it wasn't any of these across the racetrack, suddenly hooking left and right and blocking somebody that way. So they were better at that, but they still found a way to wreck.
And
that's how the wreck happened, though.
Sure.
With Joey. I mean, the 11 car got hooked by the 47 car, which turned him into Joey, and Joey went up in the air and flipped. But it was the action of the 47 car to the 11 to the 22 that caused the wreck.
On a straightaway. That's, I think, is what the concern is right here. You know, stuff is coming in the turns, but this stuff is happening on straightaways. And how long do you want to wreck everything like we do at these tracks before you get? We're wrecking cars. That's just fine. We haven't killed anybody recently, so I guess that's okay. But under different circumstances, that wouldn't have been okay.
Well, you're still going to have driver error. You're still going to have stupidity on the racetrack. When you get down to the end of a race, yesterday in a truck race, the 52 truck thought he was going to be Superman, and spun in the middle of the field. You're just lucky there was enough talented drivers behind him that 18 cars didn't pile up in it.
By the way, as far as Talladega goes, how about that Michael McDowell, who finished third, for those people who thought there was just a fluke at Daytona? Well, there are guys that just happen to do pretty good on those plate tracks. Bubba Wallace is one. There are others. I mean, there are some guys that are good on both. Michael, here's a good example is Michael Waltrip. The guy was as average a race car driver as you could possibly be on any track other than Daytona Talladega. And there he was one of the guys. He had a shot every time he raced there. It's a different skill set. Some guys can race at both tracks. Matt Kenseth won on every kind of track that there is. Tony Stewart, but Stewart didn't have as much success on the big plate tracks as he did on those shorter tracks. So interesting. How about that Michael McDowell? Good for him. Glad to see that he had another decent finish, and he's not doing all that bad in the points either. So we hope it continues.
He's locked into the chase already.
Yeah, he's already locked in. If you'd like to participate, 414-421-7901. I personally am very happy I'll tell you what made me so happy when we come back.
It's a red, white, and blue weekend of family fun as Road America hosts the NASCAR Cup Series July 1st through the 4th in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 4 huge days of stock cars featuring the NASCAR Cup, Henry 180 Xfinity, and Trans Am Series. Camp on site and catch every lap. Enjoy fan activities, including autograph sessions and free family fun zone. And free admission for youth 16 and under. Get your printed home tickets today before they sell out at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
3 wide through turn number 4. How are they going to make it work? They do. Justin Allgaier and Tommy Joe Martin's racing hard for the position.
At Darlington Raceway.
Oh, trouble on the back straightaway. 1, 2, 3 cars around.
Throwing it back to NASCAR's roots.
Throughout Old Name to make contact. Just in front of Hamlin, Riley Herbst and Brett Moffitt bounce off of one another.
It's the Steakhouse Elite 200.
Coming up Saturday, coverage starts at 11:30 in the morning on the Big 920 and big920.com.
Of course, I'm pleased pretty easily, you have to admit. When Kyle Larson came back to NASCAR, it seemed like, people wanted to keep him at arm's length. We all know what a spectacular driver that Kyle Larson is. And it has taken his he's showing off his ability, how great he is in a race car, how far he's come in a short time. And Valvoline has jumped on board as a major sponsor. Yes, true, it's only for 3 races. They also jumped onto the 24 car for 2 races. That was a deal where Hendrick's dealerships all used Valvoline, Ed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so for a while there, they ran some other brand, but thank goodness that Valvoline is now a major sponsor. We've got a ways to go, but Kyle Larson is no longer a naughty word. He's back. He's great. He's great for our sport, and Valvoline has jumped on board, and we're happy. 414-421-7901. Bill from Waukesha waiting to speak to us. Bill, let's talk NASCAR.
Hello. In recent weeks, I put a message or comment in the chat window about possibility of Ray Everhand being on LTN, and the response, let's just say positive. Anyway, the reason I did that is I saw a YouTube video with Everham responding to tweets, and the last one he answered was he guessed that the question was, had you ever raced at Slinger, because it was so poorly written. Anyway, he said no, but I really want to see that track because it's on my bucket list. Well, of course, I started thinking, well, Everhand has some modifieds in his museum. What's the possibility of someone putting the thought in his head about when they show up for the July 10th thing, how about he bring one of his modifieds along to run some hot laps there?
So you get a feel of what the track is like, huh?
Yeah.
You talk to Ray once in a while, don't you?
Yeah, that'd be fun to watch him tear around or modify. Maybe he set a new world's record on a quarter-mile track. It'd be fun to see that. But
it'd be fun. Yeah, you bet.
Anyway, that goes back to the article. I remember years ago that was when Circle Track was in publication, someone saying that, this Slinger is not the world's fastest quarter mile. X track in Colorado is, because, and then goes on to say about you on a super modified. It's like, no.
Yeah, it was going back and forth with Anderson for a while. Anderson and Slinger were kind of trading the fastest laps back and forth. They run super modifieds at Anderson, and then Slinger went and ran like midgets or something like that, and they ran a 9-second lap. It was kind of going back and forth as who was going to be the fastest quarter mile.
Anyway, basically, that was my thought of the day, that maybe someone put the Worman raise Abraham's ear about bring a car along. You already have some in your museum, or
they're
even.
They're going to have a test at Slinger before they race there. From what I understand, it's going to be not very long before they actually race. So, within a couple of weeks of the race, they are going to have a test. So who knows? Maybe Ray want to bring his modified along and take a few laps himself. If you remember, when Ray Evernham started in NASCAR, he worked for Alan Kowicki. Now, it was a short relationship, as sometimes was the case with Alan. Either you could work for him or you couldn't, and it didn't matter if you didn't know much. It's how you got along with Alan. Well, Evernham was there for a while, and I get the funny feeling that might have been the first time he had ever heard of Slinger, when Alan might have said, "Well, I raced at Slinger. I was a champion at Slinger, and here's what we did there." So who knows? I know that he worked.
I think a lot had to do with the last couple of years with the Nationals, drawing some interest nationally and people coming up here. Tony Eury came up here a couple of years ago and was pretty impressed with the place. I think that word has kind of gone back as how well they've done things, and that's kind of what led to them getting this race. And in July, I know CBS has been up in town already looking for angles and stuff where they're going to put their trucks and cameras and all that thing. So a lot has been going on for that. But I think a lot of that was made a couple years ago when the Nationals started coming back around again and more people were coming up here. And I think like Yuri's visit up here was a pretty big deal because he was pretty impressed with the place.
Listen,
right?
Dan,
he's building the cars for them.
We have had great racing at Slinger for many years, especially in the Nationals. It didn't become a national thing until some guy started putting videos on the internet. And now Slinger Speedway has unprecedented interest. And Dan, you are no small part of that. I believe that you're as much a reason for that as the great racing that we've had over the years. So just keep that in mind. And you can subscribe.
And that's a fact, Jack.
It's a fact. You can subscribe to your what is it now? Do you have a YouTube page?
Well, yeah, this year the YouTube page is up there for a while, but this year Slinger's working on and doing a streaming deal. It hasn't, I don't know if it's been finished yet. They did a little bit of it last week with the opener. It was through Speed Sport TV. There's a lot of different places that want to do it, and they're working out all the details and all that kind of stuff to have it done. So they're SlingerSpeedway.tv was what it was on last week, and as far as what's going to happen the rest of the year, that's kind of what the foundation is there. And I'll know more about it in the weeks coming. I haven't heard a whole lot through it, so I can't really talk a bunch about it because I don't know all the details, but they're working on doing that, kind of like a deal like Stafford did last year, and it was pretty successful for them.
And you can watch Dan Margetta's work going to Speed TV.
SlingerSpeedway.tv.
Slinger Speedway for $9.99 and see it. It's awesome.
And like Ed said, Dan is as good as it gets. As a matter of fact, Dan, you've been recruited recently for this new project, right?
Yeah, well, it came together pretty quick. I mean, like I said, I don't know all the details yet. I only had about a day and a half to figure out how to do it, and going in it without really any experience doing any of this live streaming thing. We pulled it off. I mean, it was a lot of people helping out, and Matt, Losi helped me out as well too. I leaned on some people. Dan Casey helped me with getting a radio to get the PA into the thing and get the audio done. There was a lot going on to it in about a day and a half, and we pulled it off. So we'll see where it goes from here on.
I got a part of that story I have to share. I know Dan doesn't like to pound on his chest, but he really should. When the guy from Speed Sport called Dan and asked him what kind of equipment he was using, because Dan had just put his video up on YouTube, and the guy was so impressed with it, and asked Dan what kind of equipment he had, and he said a handheld Sony. Blew the guy away.
It's about knowing. It's about having a sixth sense of knowing where to point the camera, of having the experience to, and especially at our little racetrack.
You know what it is? You got to think like a racer. You got to know how racers think. And you're a frustrated driver. I can't drive in a racetrack, but I know what they're thinking about, and I watch on the camera, so I know what things happen and what's going to make somebody mad or maybe cause some issues to go on, and I can see it developing.
There you go. And you know what two guys are.
You get them all, Dan.
What is that website again?
Yeah, SlingerSpeedway.tv.
Okay, that's pretty cool. $9.99 a month sounds like a bargain to me. We'll be right back.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
It's the 59th annual season opener at Dell's Raceway Park, Saturday, May 8th. The paved third mile oval heats up with late models, UMA modified Sportsman and Bandit. Gates open at 3, qualifying at 4:30, green flag racing at 6. Dell's Raceway Park, located 5 miles west of Wisconsin Dells on Highway 12 and 16, or exit 85 off I-9094. Go online to DellsRacewayPark.com for more info. The 59th season opener, Saturday, May 8th at Dell's Raceway Park.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Kevin Harvick on the inside lane. Joey Logano on the outside.
At Kansas Speedway.
Bowman keeps it wound up down low. They go door to door for the race lead.
400 miles of high-speed hijinks in the heartland.
Denny Hamlin is a winner, picking up the victory tonight at the Kansas Speedway.
It's the Bushy McBush Race 400.
Coming up later today at 1 o'clock on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920 and Big920.com.
Well, it's just not the same with Brian Schmidt on board. Dan and I will go through and give you some results from around the world of racing, starting with a little dirt on the dirt.
That's right. I got the results. Brian's off fighting the fire, but he's able to fire the results our way. And start Thursday night in Jacksonville, Illinois, the World Outlaws NOS Energy Sprint Car Series. Brad Sweet was the winner. A little bull ring track and a pretty decent race if you saw highlights of that. Friday night, Chilton, they ran at Gravity Park. $1,200 to win, late model. Feature was there, and Nick Anvlink got the win there. Kenny Richards won in the IMCA stock cars. In Menominee, Wisconsin, the Red Cedar Raceway, the Wissota late model feature winner was Jimmy Mars. The Wissota Modifieds, Ashley Anderson picked up the win there. Jim Falls, Wisconsin, Eagle Valley Speedway, the Wissota Modified feature winner was Michael Truscott. In Fountain City, Wisconsin, way over on the Mississippi side, Mississippi Thunder Speedway, the USRA Modifieds, Justin Sorensen was your winner. And in Darlington, the track there, the IMC Modified feature winner was Jaden Fryer. The limited late models was Jason Robbins. Over in Kokomo, Indiana, the USAC National Midget Sprint Cars, their feature midget series feature winner was Emerson Axum, and then a 410 non-wing sprint car feature was Brady Bacon. Other Boone, Iowa, they had the Morton Buildings World of Outlaws late model series. They had twin 25-lap features, $3,000 to win feature number 1. Cade Dillard was your winner, and $3,000 to win feature number 2 was Shannon Babb. That's the Outlaws late models at Boone, Iowa. It's their first ever appearance there. Lake Odessa, Missouri, I-70 Motorsports Park, the World Outlaw Sprint Cars. Brad Sweet won again, so he had a pretty good, decent weekend there Thursday and Friday. Mm-hmm. Last night at Plymouth, the MSA 360 feature winner was Ben Schmidt. The late model feature winner, Justin Ritchie. Grand Nationals were won by Donnie Kulo, and that was their season opener kicked off at Plymouth last night. Francis Creek, the 141 Speedway, the IMC Modified feature winner was Randy Marquardt Jr. In the IMC Stock Cars, it was Aaron Stolp. The Grand Nationals, it was Rick Gustafson up at 141. Beaver Dam last night, their regular season opener. The Modifieds, Brandon Schmidt was your winner, and Nick Schumacher won in the Grand Nationals.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh, man. That's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry. I'm going to need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus. The Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool. Only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
At Shawano last night, the late models, Nick Anvlink picked up the win there. The IMC Modifieds was Mike Mullen, and the IMC Stock Cars was Chummy Arneson. Never heard of him.
Chummy?
But, Chummy. He got the win at Shawano last night in the IMC Stock Cars. Over at New Richmond, Wisconsin, at Cedar Lake Speedway, Jake Rodetsky was the winner in the late models, Michael Brueggemann in the limited lates, and Ashley Anderson in the modifieds. Rice Lake ran last night. The Wissota modifieds. Cole Spacek was your winner. At Wilmot, the IRA 410 Sprint Car Series was there. Their feature winner was Carson Short. The Wingless Sprint Car feature winner was Derek Crane. And in the modifieds, Chris Carlson, a buddy of mine from South Milwaukee. Went to high school.
South Milwaukee, huh?
Congratulations there. In Sharon, Ohio, the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Car Series feature winner was Justin Peck. Bill Velag was there. He finished 6th. Over in Florence, Kentucky, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series had a $15,000 to win feature. Josh Rice was your winner. And in Boone, Iowa, the second night for the World Outlaw Late Model Series, the $30,000 to win Hawkeye 100. Bobby Pierce picked up the win. He's doing pretty good picking up the big money races here around the Midwest. And Odessa, Missouri, the I-70 Motorsports Park, the second night there for the NOS Energy Sprint Car World Outlaw Series there. Brad Sweet was a win. He swept the whole weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And that's your dirt results.
It's been the Brad Sweet show so far on dirt, I guess. It's a kind of a short list here in the pavement results. It was the season opener at the Slinger Super Speedway last week. Two-time defending late model track champion Jacob Nottestad had a shot on a late caution. Got to pull up next to Casey Johnson, but the spectacular race car driver from Edgerton, Wisconsin, or wherever he's from. Is it actually... Cambridge, I think Casey's from. Either way, he did a job last week and won the first race of the year at Slinger Speedway. It was an afternoon show. I had to miss it, Dan. It sounded as though it was a whale of a finish.
It really was. I mean, it was a pretty good race. Nottestad pressured him pretty heavily and got alongside him a couple times, and Casey was able to fend him off. And the story about that deal is Casey's car was an old car of his that he had sold to somebody, and that car was sitting on jack stands for a long time, and he just decided, hey, let's just pull it out, and he took it to Madison to practice, and he ran pretty well, so let's go to Slinger and give it a shot, and they came out and won the race, so pretty decent for Casey. And he said afterwards he'll be back a couple times this year, and for sure for the Nationals, because he saw that SRX ride sitting out there, and he really got his eyes set on that. So
yeah, very good. A reminder, the Dells opener is next week. The Slinger opener is an afternoon show for super late models in 2 weeks on the 16th. And, of course, today is the opener. And for the first time, I think in Dane County in over a year, they're going to get the race at Madison for the opener today in the Joe Shear race. So it's starting to fire up in this state. What'd you say, Ed?
With fans.
With fans, yes, fans in the stands, and thank goodness that we're escaping our year of hell, the 2020 year of hell. It seems to be in the rearview mirror, and thank goodness for that. So the racing season is firing up, guys, and we're getting ready for it in these parts. It amazes me how much further ahead dirt racing is than pavement racing, but I guess that's a normal thing year after year. Today's race at Kansas City, coverage begins right here on the Big 920 at 1 o'clock today. The green flag will fall at 2:13, so they got a little bit of a pre-race business going on there. Guys, I don't know if you saw this, but the rules came out this week for the All-Star race, which is going to be in Texas this year. Just listen to this. It's going to be 6 rounds. The first round is a standard 15-lap run. The field will be inverted by 8 to 12 with the exact number dependent on a random draw. Round 2, 15 more laps with a full field invert. Round 3, another 15 lap segments. Once again, 8 to 12 by a random draw on an invert. Wow. Round 4, the only standard round, 15 laps, but no inversions. Round 5, 30 laps with the starting order determined by cumulative finishes from the opening 4 rounds. There will be a mandatory green flag pit stop that will be required with the round, with the fastest crew getting $100,000. And round 6, a 10-lap dash to the finish. The overall race winner and will get a $900,000 prize. What a confusing thing this is.
I'm just going to watch it. I'm not going to get into
Yeah, right.
Just,
let me know when it's over.
Yeah, exactly. We'll watch and see. Now who's leading? Yeah. Okay. After that round, now who's leading? Unbelievable. They must know what they're doing. You know, it's a successful event every year. So I just think it's kind of, well, anyway, like Ed said, we'll watch it and decide what happens. Hey, Alan Kowicki's Underbird, the original car, was purchased by the NASCAR Hall of Fame. My question is it the same car that's been floating around and making appearances at Hooters? The last time I saw it was in the Hooters in Las Vegas. I think that Hooters is gone now, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, it's something else.
Well,
like Oyo or something.
I'm not worried about that building. Where'd the car go, and is it the same one? Because I remember the original Underbird was actually sold with the shop to Jeff Bodine. So unbelievable. We'll be back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
It's a red, white, and blue weekend of family fun as Road America hosts the NASCAR Cup Series July 1st through the 4th in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 4 huge days of stock cars featuring the NASCAR Cup, Henry 180 Xfinity, and Trans Am Series. Camp on site and catch every lap. Enjoy fan activities including autograph sessions and free family fun zone. And free admission for youth 16 and under. Get your printed home tickets today before they sell out at RoadAmerica.com. That's RoadAmerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
2 wide, looking 3 wide, slipping and sliding, trucks kicking out. Wow, what a battle. Zane Smith at the front of that pack.
At Darlington Raceway.
Austin Hill all over the back end of Brett Moffitt. Now he's going to drive down to the inside. 3 wide.
Try to tame the Lady in Black.
Nothing will be more satisfactory than leading a lap at Darlington Raceway.
It's the LiftKitsForLess.com 200.
Friday night, coverage starts at 6 on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920 and Big920.com.
We lost someone in the world of racing that many people probably knew his name, but and got to see him work. But he was a fixture not only at Jefferson but at Madison when I was out there announcing. Pete Seitz from Seitz Towing passed away at the age of 77 this week, and racers all knew him, and he was a part of the racing community at a couple of racetracks, and will be dearly missed. Pete Seitz passed away this last Thursday. Gentlemen, we got a race today. We're not going to be able to get Brian's pick. I can pretty much guess who it would have been. I'm going to take the 88 car today. He's
48.
He's pretty good.
There's no 88 car.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. 48. I forget about that. Yeah, it's time once again for Alex Bowman, I think. Who are you looking at, Ed?
I guess I got to go with the 5 car from the back, Dan, right? I just...
I think it's going to be a Hendrick car.
Don't be afraid, Ed.
I'll take 24 then. I mean, it leaves 9 out there, I guess, for somebody. Brian can take 9.
Brian gets number 9, whether he knows it or not. That's pretty good. Dan, it sure has been this style, this size track sure has been a Hendrick right in their wheelhouse.
It seems like if they got their act together on these tracks, look at Vegas. The 5 car was dominant there. He was dominant at Atlanta too until the 12 ran him down. So if anybody is with them, maybe the Penske cars, they seem to be okay in that. But Hendrick clearly has Byron won at Homestead, another 1.5-mile track. Not exactly like this one, but it's the same kind of, I think, package as far as engine and stuff. So.
How long before Kyle Busch breaks through? How long before
Chase
that
Elliott?
4-car, Harvick and
Well, I'll
Chase?
tell you what, guys. I got the 4-car to win today in my fantasy league. So I think
they haven't shown me any
they're
speed.
back.
I don't know. I'm going to wait till I see it.
Ed has confidence, let him have confidence, because it seems like the team needs to have some confidence,
Well, that's what impressed me last week is how they seem to be coming back.
All right, I don't know. There's 9 different races now and 9 winners in 10 races, right? So I mean, if we're on this trend, playoff wise, is going to be a crunch time coming up because look at all the guys you said haven't won. The 11 hasn't won yet. The 4 hasn't won yet. The 9 hasn't won yet.
And
the 18
that's
hasn't
the
won.
real question. How long before Hamlin wins? Really? Come on. He's been the best car. I mean, almost every race, and he finds ways of losing, especially the guy just has a mental block about pit stops, Ed. He screws something up every week.
Yes, he does. And if you look at the guys that are not in yet by the win, of Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, and Chase Elliott, there's Kyle Busch. There's 4 right there.
Yeah.
The other guys that are in the points right now are Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse, and Chris Buescher.
Yeah. Another guys they can't seem to close. How about DiBenedetto? How many times is he going to lead this last lap and not get the win? I mean, it's starting to become a problem now, and he's kind of hanging on the edge as far as his ride's concerned. With Cindric going in that car next year.
Well, that's over with. That's done.
Right, but you have to close the deal if you want to stick around in this deal, and he's had shots now, and the oh shucks excuses aren't going to fly anymore.
And yes, he's popular. Yes, he's got a social media presence. It doesn't really happen. It's a performance-based industry, and you've had good shots. And if you think you're going to get a better one after this year, old Guido, that's not going to happen. But then again, you have most of the racing world with their fingers crossed that you can win at least one race and give the Wood brothers their 100th victory. How long have they been waiting that? Since Blaney got him number 99, right?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, and he had a shot last week. He just, right towards the end, he didn't stay on the bottom. He went up to the top, opened the door, and the 2 went right by him.
Well, excuses are like Chevrolets. Sooner or later, everybody has one.
Wow.
That's an old one, Ed. What can I tell you? A reminder. The race comes on here on the Big 920 at 1 o'clock for pre-race coverage. The race itself gets going at 2:45. There will be a competition caution at lap 25 where the cars will come in and make all their adjustments to make it to the end of the first segment. They probably will not have to gas up again until the end of the first segment, but then there will be a caution, a
mandatory pit stop.
Mandatory, they're going to have to get fuel before the end of the second segment, which will be at lap 160, and then they go 107 more laps at the end, which means at least one pit stop. And of course, the one that'll be coming with 12 laps to go that everybody in the house knows is coming. It's just like a script that gets written, and they hold themselves to it.
Before we get out of here, too, obviously we're going to head to the Madison race in a while. We have to track down Ty Majeski and ask him about this report about maybe some trucks races this year.
Yeah. Who reported that? It just came out.
Lee Spencer.
She knows about these things. And exactly what did Lee Spencer's report say, Dan?
Well, there might be some truck races this year for Ty Majeski in a 5th Thor Sport truck.
Like 5 of them, right?
I didn't hear the exact number, but it was some. I knew there's something cooking going on there with Thor Sport. I didn't know the details of it, so we haven't really talked much about it, but interesting to see what happens.
Ty did secure sponsorship from
CRC
Chemical?
Yeah, CRC.
Oh, CRC. Okay. CRC Chemical. Well, good for him, and maybe we'll go ask him. Not that he would be, telling us, but we're not Lee Spencer or anything. That's pretty good. Well, thanks for making us part of your Sunday. We do appreciate it, and we're hoping Brian has got out of his firefighting duties okay, and we'll see you all next week. And as we like to say, real race cars have doors. even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our in-house engineer, website coordinator, and king of the knobs is Matt Hangover Losi, who's going to entertain you along with Ed right now as Dan and I are headed for Madison. See you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
This Mother's Day, I love a memorable gift. It's been a long year, we can all use a lift. Yeah.
Remember how I love that new yoga class? Got really into cooking,
Abstract line art, and cats. Listen to your heart. Find a gift perfect for me. Put it in your cart. A great price, all would agree. I'm gonna love what you gave me. I won't have to lie. So put it in your cart. Spend less, gift better.
This Mother's Day, spend less, gift better at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and HomeGoods.